All right, and we're back with part 3 of 3D printing with ohSchnapp. Okay, so now you're ready. You've done your shoot calibration models. You know, you've got the lay of the land for Simplify 3D. You're ready to try a cool model. So first thing on artistic cool models. They're going to have organic parts, which means you are going to need support generation when you have an overhang that is more than 45 degrees. What I mean by that is, one second, okie dokie. So, by the way, Simplify is kind of weird moving around. You click anywhere, left click to tumble, shift and left click to zoom, and then I believe just right click to track. Really bizarre. Anyway, so bringing this model like this, let's see, first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and bring up my support generation menu. So we can click this little guy right here on the right, and this menu pops up. We'll leave support type to normal. Support resolution, that's basically like how thin it decides to draw support. 4 is okay for now. 45 degree angle. That means any part that there's more than a 45 degree overhang, like basically right here, we can see that this overhang is maybe slightly a little bit more than 45 degrees. The Meg one certainly isn't 45 degrees, but basically anything that is more than a 45 degree overhang, it's going to generate support for that. So Simplify 3D can generate automatic supports, which is wonderful because we don't want to have to figure out how much supports this needs. So generate automatic supports, bam, does it. Wonderful. It kind of messed up right there. It left some out, but that's why we can dial it in, and that's also why we can do our own custom supports. For this particular model, I had to do a lot of my own custom supports just to get it to something where I felt confidently printing, and you might have to do that. Like, for example, here, there's no way it's going to print the bottom of this fin, because how can it print the bottom of the fin if it's got nothing to print on? So it definitely needs more support right there. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lower my support resolution to 2. And that basically increases it a little bit more. They'll get in a little bit more nooks and crannies, which is a little bit better for that thin resolution. Secondly, I'm also going to decrease my max overhang to, let's try 40 first. So it gives a little bit more support, which is good. We can also see it got that that little fin, which is really nice. I'm going to drop it down to 30. Might be a bit too generous. Yeah, actually I'm going to try 35. Okay, something like that. I'm still going to go in and help this fin, but we got basically almost all of the model, which is the important part. So if we want to add more supports, very easy. We can either do it by looking up or looking down at the model. So I'm going to do it looking up because I want to hit this fin right here. So I'm going to do add new support structures, and I'm just going to start clicking right along the fin like that. Doesn't really matter how dense you make it, it'll figure out how to print it. The idea is that you just want to get it kind of like an even spacing, or at least covering a lot of what you wanted, of what you definitely want to have support. So, I might even make some right there. I can even change my resolution and do, custom ones of different supports. So, it's really powerful. It won't let me click up there because that's above it. But, if I want to do more underneath it, it'll definitely do that, which is awesome. Okay, so that, and, if I don't like it, I can clear all of them, You can also import export supports, which is awesome. If you decide to update your model, re-reference in another model, tweak it, super cool stuff. So I'm going to generate automatic supports, and I'm going to prepare this guy to print. Fun stuff. I'm going to select both my processes for the first layer and the second layer. It's thinking. Now we get this colorful shark. Way more fascinating than 5 little cubes. Okay, this color tone is the speed. So we can see up here, it's chugging along. It's going to be printing like 90, 80 millimeters per second for the majority of this model, which is pretty fast for a Cartesian printer. Delta printers can print up here around 135 to 150. Who cares? Those are a lot smaller. Cartesian's where it's at. So, all right, let's go ahead and just take a look at this like playing. So basically down here at the bottom, if we just hit play, we can see it chugging along. We can see our honeycomb structure going through. I'm gonna go ahead and pause it. And basically we can kind of see how it's printing every single layer. So if there's something that's not really working out, or something we think it's going to error somewhere, we can kind of like figure that out before it'll even happen. On complicated prints, I tend to watch this going up. Obviously right there would be a problem. We fixed that before, but this is good to kind of just check right before you print. It's kind of cool to see the inside of the mouth, the shark going up like that. Anyway, so now we've found, like let's say we've figured out that we've tried to print this before and the fins didn't really work out too well. On like, let's say this lower part of the fin broke off because it printed too fast. It just couldn't really handle the speed for how thin that fin was. So how do we fix that? Well, we're going to do another process for this fin section. So we're going to have first layer process, this process, fin section process, and then upper process. And we'll slow down the printer in here so we make sure this section prints reliably. Okay, so we're going to go to exit print mode. I'm going to select process 1, and we're going to go ahead and name this just 0. Oopsie. I'm going to have to move my microphone over. 0 to, or we'll just call this layer 1. All right. And this, make sure this guy prints right there. I'm printing to 0.2 millimeters because that's how high my layer height is. So layer 1. This is going to be layer 2 to, I already know the answer. It's 12 millimeters, but you would name this after. So layer 2 to 12 millimeters. And the reason why it's 12 millimeters is if you go to view and cross section and you see z-axis right around here is 12 millimeters. That's where the fin starts. So 12 millimeters, fantastic. We want to be printing super fast, 90 millimeters per second. Gonna add another process, gonna name it 12 millimeters to, let's just guess, I'm gonna guess 80 millimeters. And I'm going to slow this down a lot more than I should, but just to show you the color spectrum difference, 30 millimeters per second. And then afterwards, I'm going to say 80 millimeters to ends. And then in my advance, I'm gonna go in here, and I think I forgot to change these on the other, but let's see. So stop printing on, I'm gonna uncheck that. Start printing at height 80 millimeters. And I'm gonna check this one. Doing this a bit out of order. Apologize for that. Oops, I messed that one up. Okay, so, all right. Okay, so now going through that, just explaining what I did. So layer 1, start printing at 0 millimeters, stop at 0.2 millimeters, and that's printing, 60 millimeters a second. Layer 2 to 12 millimeters, 0.2 millimeters to 12 millimeters, and that's printing 90 millimeters per second. 12 millimeters to 80 millimeters, 12 millimeters to 80 millimeters. My speed is super slow, 30 millimeters a second. And 80 millimeters onward, and we're back up at 90. And just to verify, I think 80 was enough. It's basically the part right after this fin, which, that's 70, but we'll just go ahead and do 80 for jits and giggles. Just so it's going to print this part right here a little bit slower and hopefully be a little bit more reliable. So we're going to do prepare to print, select all our layers, hit OK. And now we can see this entire midsection. It's printing this pretty slow now, like 20 millimeters per second. You know, some part, you know, it's printing the support, I guess, at 30, but it's printing everything else, like some at even 5. You know, so we can see that, you know, we're definitely going to get a much more reliable print in this area. And, you know, that's definitely also if we increase the support. Okay, so, you know, we can basically call that one good. I'd save that one out, and, you know, you can print it. We can also see that this is now going to take 8 hours and 21 minutes. It tells you the filament length, you know, the plastic weight, the material cost, $2.16. That is too rich for my budget. All right. So, and, you know, it also has, like, kind of cool toolpaths here, so you can see different things on how the printer head moves over the time of printing. So just one last thing I'll talk about, and that's just other cool things about Simplify 3D, and I'll just do a short video for that right now.